Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and today's video is another foster care related video, but it's going to be a little bit of a different one, and I'm going to talk about a subject that is going to be probably sensitive in a way that no one really talks about it in the foster care community, really, but a lot of people deal with it. And if I just want to start out by saying, if you don't have anything nice to say in the comments down below in regards to this topic, don't leave it in the comment, because I will delete it. Because the reality is that you're not in that house and you're not in my house, and you don't know what kinds of things happened or have happened. And I'm just going to share my experience, which is unique to my foster care journey. And I'm going to be talking today about when to call to have a child removed from your home. And like I said, if you want to say whatever you want, you're more than welcome to. Just keep in mind, if it's hurtful or hateful, it's not going to be tolerated. Like I said, this is something really difficult for people who are going through it, and we have to be sensitive and open to them and trying to understand what they're going through. So, we had a placement a while ago it was a teenage girl. Not that that matters, but she was a teenage girl, and she had been in care, I think, since she was like 12 or 13. She was 16 when she came to us, and she had moved from placement to placement to placement, all like multiple placements, and she had been in like a program, like a mental health program or something, prior to coming to us. And those things are fine, and children go through those things, but they say with each additional move, you're causing a child more trauma, and every time they have to be moved from a home, it's a trauma on top of a trauma, because oftentimes they're not just changing homes, they're changing schools and counselors and doctors, and everyone's changing. So knowing that, we were very aware that survival skills would most likely include things like lying, which is understandable, because when you are constantly moving so much, it might become a kind of a coping skill or a survival skill to lie about things that you like or do. That way somebody will accept you. And I know I have done that in the past before. So I'm not going to fault anybody. Like, I don't fault her for having, lying. That, it's not good, but it's just something that, like I said, you do it to survive. You are trying to stay in a home, so you might lie about everything from the food that you eat to the people you like to the music you listen to, because you so desperately just want to stay in one place. So, yeah, there was a lot of lying involved, and we were having extreme, there was lots of running away and extreme problems at school with doing things with boys, and boys were a big problem spot. And yeah, it was just a lot on our family. And there were some mental health needs, that she had a lot of outbursts and things of that nature, to where she would scare our youngest daughter, Addison. She would scare her, and Addison was afraid of her. And it got to the point in our home where every single day was like waiting for something bad to happen in a way. And like I said, I don't blame her. I don't. It was just not the right fit. And I told her caseworker when she left that she would benefit from being at home where she was the only child, because there was a lot of competition with Addison, which was causing a lot of problems. And because we had other children, we couldn't fully put every waking attention moment on her. Our attention had to be divided between multiple children and animals and all types of things that require our care. And it was just waking up just what's it going to be today? And when we were waking up in the morning, it was like we didn't get any sleep. We were already so emotionally, physically, just everything we were so drained. And, nobody, like my husband, for example, he didn't, it got to the point in dealing with her because there were so, multiple outbursts, multiple times, several times a day. And then on top of that, the lying, and then on top of that, the school, and then on top of that, these boys and running away. And it was just everything was piling up. And we were not capable of caring for this child in the needs that she needed. And I took her to therapy. I drove her to counseling every week. She had weekly counseling. But there was just a lot of behavioral problems. So my husband, he would avoid coming home because it was just so draining to deal with everything as a whole, besides just, being at work and then coming home and having another child who has needs and a wife. And so he was really distancing himself. So it was mostly just Addison and I and at home. And then Addison would she would scream and beg Miss Mandy to stay, which is her daycare provider, her babysitter. And she would just scream, and she just would say, I don't want to go home. And it was every day. And it was everything was falling apart, essentially. And there were also some, then, on top of all of that, we were starting to have safety concerns. So there was one time where we were in the kitchen and I was confronting her about a lie that she had told me, and she got really angry about it and was defending herself with her words. And she went and she started touching the knives on the counter. And that was a thing where it was no, you can't, you're not going to do that. What are you trying to do? What are your intentions by touching those knives when you're angry? Are you going to try to hurt me? So those were the kind of things that were happening that, when I felt so horrible calling placement and putting in my 30-day notice, because I knew how much she needed us as a placement, but I also realized that I was not a good fit for her, and that I was not providing her any good care because of we were so drained, and she just needed a lot more than I could give her that were happening in the house. And I remember when we called, I cried a lot about it because I felt horrible. And I just kept thinking, are we not trying hard enough? Are we not, I felt like we should take this. Both Chris and I had a piece about taking that placement, and for all this stuff to be happening and for us to be calling them, asking them to remove her. I was are we doing the right thing? And ultimately, for our family. You know, our family, this is our ministry as a family. And so you cannot pour into other people and help other people if you're essentially drowning, because you're just going to drown everyone around you. And because of that, and then the safety concerns, that we ended up calling and putting in the removal, that whatever they call it. And I felt horrible, and I know I have a lot more peace about it now that it's been a while, but I still, you know, I still care about her, and I still wonder how she's doing, and I hope that she's doing well. And I hope that they find her a placement that is really going to be able to reach her and care for her needs, all of her needs. And I just want to let you know, if you have a child in your home for foster care, and, you know, there's certain behaviors like lying and stuff, you know, those are behaviors that you kind of have to help children through. But if you've had a good fit placement, and then you have a placement that's a bad fit, you know the difference. And I just want to say, if you're trying to make this decision now, really, really talk to a mentor about it. Pray about it if you're a Christian, and, you know, ultimately decide, is this bringing the whole family down as a result, and are there safety concerns? If there's safety concerns and you're worried about the safety of like other people or children, that should be an automatic ask for removal, because then the child probably shouldn't be with other children. But I still know, I mean, I've been there, and you still wonder, like, am I doing the right thing? And, you know, I completely understand. It's a very difficult decision, and if you're trying to make this decision, you'll ultimately make the correct one. And if you talk to our mentor or your licensing specialist and just get perspective, you know, if you need to, get respite care, even for a little bit, and see if that's going to help you. In our case, that wasn't going to help. You know, everything would be staying the same, and we would still be having the same concerns, and the family would still just be worn. And like, for example, with our placement, that's been a good match. I mean, we've had our problems with each other, but it's nothing like, you know, this placement that we have removed. And like I said, she was not a bad person. She wasn't a bad person, and it just wasn't, we weren't the right fit, and because of safety concerns, we had to make that choice. So I hope this, I mean, I'm not trying to scare anybody from become a foster parent, but, you know, these things do happen. And look, I've been through a lot of things as a foster parent, and I'm still a foster parent because it's still needed. Children still are becoming foster children, so you're still needed, and the work is valuable. You run the race well, and, you know, this is a meaningful journey, and you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because you love children, you love families, and a lot of us, you know, love God. And yeah, so everyone, you know, if you're a foster parent and you're watching this, you're doing a great job. If you're struggling with something, you're still doing a great job, and you can get through this. I know you're capable. Just really, I mean, for me, honestly, my only advice is just to lean into God, because you can't do it by yourself. None of us can do anything by ourselves. If I didn't have God and my husband and my mentor and my licensing specialist, I would not be able to have gone through any of my foster care journey, the good or the bad. So that support system is very important. So anyways, I'm getting off topic, but yes, you're capable. I know if you're going through a rough time, it'll be okay. And God loves you, and He cares about you, and He cares about this, whatever little thing maybe you feel like you're going through. But yeah, but if and people, one thing I do want to say is people are going to say, if they find out that you had a child removed, they're going to say whatever they want to say. And we have had rude remarks, like, didn't we know, like, there was going to be behavioral issues? We obviously didn't try hard enough. Did we even want to do this? Like, all sorts of hurtful things, like trying to diminish the love and care that we do have for this child. It does not go away, and they were hurtful, and I was very angry about it, but I know I did the right thing for my family. And sometimes you just have to make hard decisions for the good of the multiples, so yeah, I'm just going to leave this video here. I'm not trying to discourage anyone. Obviously, I'm trying to encourage you that, what you're going through, people go through, and you're not alone. Never feel alone as a foster parent, because that's when things are going to get kind of difficult. So, and feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or email me. Everything's in the description box, and I would be happy to talk with you if you have any more questions or anything like that. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.